It's time to talk about everyone's favorite time travel story with an unexpected time machine. Okay, more unexpected than a car. Okay, but less unexpected than a hot tub. I'm talking about phone booth. American phone booth.
Whoa!
There we go. Here's everything you need to know about Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
Do you know when the Mongols ruled China?
Wow. Perhaps we could ask them.
While Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure was released on February 17th, 1989, the story of the two teens from San Dimas whose destiny it is to travel through time, pass their history exam, and become the benevolent leaders of the universe through what appears to ostensibly be anthem rock and partying on, which is pretty dope, started several years earlier. Scriptwriters Ed Solomon and Chris Matheson were the original Bill and Ted at UCLA. In an improv workshop in 1985, they sketched out an idea that was guys who know nothing about history talking about history.
Socrates. The only true wisdom consists in knowing that you know nothing.
That's us, dude.
There was originally a third character, Bob, but the other writer who was the Bob wasn't into it and moved on. The script itself was written by hand in coffee shops over the course of 4 days. It was Chris's father, though, famed sci-fi author Richard Matheson, who convinced Ed and Chris that Bill and Ted's adventures shouldn't be just excellent, but also science fiction. The original idea was for the movie to be a series of sketches, but Richard Matheson felt the time travel idea was a full film idea itself. Obviously, that was a good idea because De Laurentiis Entertainment Group picked up the film, more on them later. Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves, who played Bill and Ted respectively, originally came in to read for the opposite roles. In fact, they didn't even realize they were playing the opposite roles until they showed up to film.
Strange things are afoot at the Circle K.
Pauly Shore also wanted to play Ted, but he is too much of a weasel. I can't do it, but he said it a lot in the 90s. Take my word on it. It was terrible.
Ow! Buddy.
And those weren't the only changes from the original script. At first, the time machine was going to be a 1969 Chevy van, but two things happened. One, they realized there would be comparisons with Back to the Future, and two, the visual idea of the phone booth flying through time felt more roller coaster-like. Ideas for casting Rufus were more in line with actors like Sean Connery, and according to Alex Winter, George Carlin's casting was a happy accident. There were also other characters who were originally going to appear, including Babe Ruth and Charlemagne. No, not Charlemagne the God, like regular type Charlemagne. There you go. Super fun fact about the historical figures who did appear, they basically all go on to die horrific deaths in real life. Billy the Kid, shot. Sigmund Freud, assisted suicide because of jaw cancer. Joan of Arc, burned at the stake. Genghis Khan? Nobody knows, but he probably like fell off his horse or something. And Napoleon died on an island in exile. Not a very fun way to go. And speaking of Napoleon, did you know that the mascot for the Ziggy Pig, where he goes to eat that enormous sundae, is based on a Marvel Comics character in the public domain? See, there is a Bill and Ted Marvel crossover already, and you didn't even know it.
Ziggy Piggy, Ziggy Piggy, Ziggy Piggy.
As for the film, it was in production for almost 2 years because De Laurentiis went bankrupt. In fact, Bill and Ted would have went to TV if Orion Pictures and Nelson Entertainment had not bought the rights. But they did, and the only other major change was that, due to the delayed release, every time someone said 1987 in the movie, it had to be overdubbed with 1988.
San Dimas, 1988.
So, if you saw the mouths didn't quite match up with the words and thought some strange things were afoot at the Circle K, That's why. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure cost $10 million to make and grossed $40.5 million, giving it enough success to spawn a sequel named Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, which traded time travel for a kind of Dante's Divine Comedy sort of thing. There's also an animated series, which originally featured Winter and Reeves, but wound up with 2 new actors who would then go on to play them in a short live-action series. There was also Bill and Ted Serial and 2 different Bill and Ted comic series, the 2015 version of which was written by Brian Lynch, who is best known as the writer of the Minions movies. And despite Keanu Reeves' fear at one point that his epitaph would read, "He played Ted," so you're probably safe there, Neo, he and Alex Winter have spent years trying to get a 3rd film made. Will that film feature Chevy vans, Babe Ruth, Charlemagne, Marvel characters, and the Minions? Who can say? What we do know is that if they want the original phone booth in a new movie, they're gonna have to ask Kenneth Grayson, aka the guy who won it in a contest through Nintendo Power. Strange things afoot at the Circle K indeed. Anyway, that's everything you need to know. Go in peace, be excellent to each other,
And party on, dudes!
That's what Lincoln says at the end of the movie. Okay, bye.